everybody, welcome back to another episode on the T4zzCr4ft server. And as you can see, it's recently become morning, and I've got some mobs back there in the background, but we're just going to ignore them, and hopefully they'll ignore us. So, anyways, on this episode of T4zzCr4ft, I think that I'm going to be working on gathering some resources, and we're going to make a little trip over to the shopping district. I'm really curious to see, what kind of shops are over there. I know there was a bookstore over there at one point, but I don't know if any other T4zzCr4fters have, made any other shops and things. So we're going to go check that out. We may even build one of our own shops. I've had this idea of creating a shop for just some blocks like gravel or diorite or andesite or any of those other, crafting type blocks that people might want to use in their builds. So I was thinking about maybe doing something like that. But yeah, we're going to check that out. And we're also going to start making plans for the big base. The big base that's going to go out over the water over there. We're going to start putting together some plans for what that's going to look like. And yeah, so it should be a pretty good episode. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go over to the shopping area. And we're going to take a look at what is currently over there as of right now. Alright, so it just came through the nether portal. And this is the shopping district. And it looks like as of right now, it's still only this one bookstore that's here. I came and I visited this when I did the server tour with Mikey Perion. And, I never did really take a look around, where we could possibly build a shop. I mean, I want it to not be too far away from the nether portal. So I'm just going to take a look around here. And yeah, I think that we would probably kind of just build them all close together. Maybe at some point, I don't know what the plan is, to flatten this out a little more. But yeah, I mean, we could build a store, even just right here next to the bookstore. Build it right in this area right here. That way it's not too hard to find when she will go through the nether portal. And so yeah, I mean, we just got to work on a design on what that would look like and what different block types we would sell. But yeah, I think that would be a good shop to have for those who are looking to build things. And especially gravel, because, we use a lot of concrete in this game. And so I think gravel and sand, those could definitely be some good ones to sell for those who want to do concrete. So let's look at some different designs for that, and then we'll have a better idea as to what blocks we need to offer. Alright, so this is the shop that I've got designed so far, and I've said this once before, and I'm going to continue probably saying it throughout these episodes, but I am not a very good designer. I definitely am not. I tried to use different materials, and I tried to use materials that weren't your basic blocks, because I don't want people to get the wrong impression about this shop. So I tried to use, some more specialized blocks for, the overall design. But the idea being that, I'll have some kind of sign. You can come through either side, and the idea being that you would come in here and want to buy just the basic blocks that you could go out and get yourself, but if you don't want to spend the time, then you would just come in here and you would just buy what you need. And I got this indicated by the block below, so if you want a diorite or granite, andesite, stone, magma blocks, some of these things you're probably thinking, I don't know why you'd ever need that stuff, but hey, you never know. I did do both sides of the entrance here as sand and gravel, because I would anticipate that quite a few people would probably purchase those to make concrete, and so that would be one that I think would sell quite a bit. I've got dirt and sandstone as well. And so these are just the basic ones that I could think of, just basic building blocks. If you guys have any other ideas of blocks that I could sell in the store, maybe I could expand it to be bigger if there were different basic block types that people would want readily available, or if you have ideas about some ways that I could change this design so that it looks maybe a little bit more appealing. Definitely leave that down in the comments, or if you've got ones that you've made. I tried to make this fairly mob proof. So these are all bottom slabs, so I don't have to worry about mobs, even though it is technically lit up from the glowstone that's for the roof. And then I've got glowstone on the floor with the spruce planks as the flooring. And I think it looks fairly decent. So yeah, I think this is probably what I'm going to go with for the design. And so I just need to make sure I gather up the materials to make all of this, and then also gather up materials to populate the store. Now, I'm not exactly sure what I should be charging for some of these things. I mean, I don't have a clue. I could maybe get away with sand and gravel being a little bit more expensive, since I think they're going to be a little bit more in demand for people who want to make concrete and stuff. So maybe I would make that like a diamond for 5 stacks, or something like that. I mean, if you guys have any ideas on the prices that I should be posting for some of these things, I mean, definitely leave it down in the comments. Because to some of this, I have absolutely no idea. I mean, let's say dirt, for example. I mean, seriously, selling people dirt. Unless you're doing a massive terraforming project and you just need tons of dirt, I don't even know why you'd be buying it. So, I mean, at that point, would you sell them, like 8 stacks for a diamond, or maybe more? I mean, I don't know. So, leave that down in the comments what you think. But yeah, this is the structure that we're going to go with. So, I'm going to go out and gather some materials so that I will be able to build this. Alright, so I'm back on the server. And yes, of course, it's raining. Why not? But something that I forgot about for this episode, because it's been a couple of days since I got finished with the last one, but I forgot we had our chicken farm down here. So, I need to get this done as well, because I'm going to need a food source. So, maybe I'll make a diversion for a little bit and get this chicken farm up and running. I was thinking about this a couple of days ago, and I probably need to make this room down here a little bit deeper, because if I'm going to have the sorting system to chuck out the feathers, then I'm going to need a little bit more drop before the chests start, so that I can stick the sorter in between. So I'm probably going to dig this down a little bit farther and make it so that the roof is not right below the chicken farm. And so I'm going to do that, and then we're going to start getting the chicken farm built. Alright guys, so this is basically what I'm going for, and I split these into two just so that they would be easier to understand. But this is the chicken farm, and I don't know if the original design was by Frilloth, but I will put a link in the description to his video where he builds this particular automatic chicken farm. And it's the one that is fairly easy to build, so this is the one that I've built most often. And it's not completely lossless, but that's okay. I'm not looking for something that is super, super efficient. I'm just looking for something that's quick and easy to build and will get me where I need to go. So, the basic idea being that the chicken stuff would all fall down into here as they die. And so far none of them have grown up yet to do so. But yeah, you can see the chickens that are laying the eggs right here. They shoot the eggs out. These chicks grow up. They get hit by lava every time an egg is shot. And then, oh, there goes the first chicken. So, we'll see if there's any... Yep, so there we go. We got cooked chicken and a feather. So, the thing is, though, I don't necessarily want the feathers. And so this system right here is going to be built underneath. So if you can imagine, this top hopper right here is the same hopper that you see down here. And so it's just a continuation. This is what would be underground, and this is what I need to build underground. So the idea here being is that it's just a system of hoppers. So the hoppers come down, and then it does a check right here. And it checks to see if it's made a chicken. And this is a very common, filter that's used for sorting systems, so I won't go into the details too much of how it works, but it's fairly simple to build, and you can stack these all next to each other, so you can have another one right next to it here, another one next to it there, and so forth. So these are pretty handy, but essentially it takes a comparator output, runs a signal down, comes back through the repeater, and powers this redstone torch. And what it's looking for is the amount that's in the hopper currently. So in this hopper that's pointing into the comparator, I've got 44 items that are just named as placeholders. And these are just making it so that there's 44 items, and then there's one 45th item. And it will always hold these 45 items inside this hopper. And the only time it will let stuff pass through is if it matches whatever the first item in the hopper is. So in this instance, it's chicken, cooked chicken. So it will allow cooked chicken to pass through the hopper, and then once it passes through this hopper, then it feeds into these system of hoppers, which then lead into these chests. However, if something tries to pass through the hopper that is not cooked chicken, it will keep going, and when it gets to this dispenser right here, this dispenser will use the comparator to see that there is now an item in the dispenser. It then powers this block, which then powers this redstone, which then powers this block, which powers this redstone repeater, which then goes back and powers the comparator again. And this redstone dust on top allows that when the comparator gets powered, it back powers the comparator, or not the comparator, but the dispenser, so the dispenser will keep shooting, and it just keeps going in a cycle. So it's kind of like a clock a little bit. It keeps powering the comparator, which then powers this dust, which then powers the dispenser, which then keeps shooting items out. So to give you a little example here, if I come into this hopper and I place in 64 chickens, you'll see that the dispenser over in the lava does not activate. But what's happening is that cooked chicken is passing through this hopper because it matches the first item. And then those cooked chicken are then coming down into these chests. However, on the opposite side, if I try to put in feathers into this hopper instead, it will not be recognized by this hopper, which means that they'll continue on and they'll go to this dispenser, which is now shooting the feathers into the lava so that they can disappear forever. And that's what we want. I don't want the feathers. The feathers are pointless. So I'm going to get rid of the feathers. I want to keep the chicken. And this is the system that I am going to be building below my starter base. So let's go back over there and let's get this thing started. Okay, so I'm going to need 2 more hoppers. So that gives me the 2 I need. And then I'm going to need the chests. I need to go out and get some more wood at some point. Let's see, I'm going to need that. I do need to make an observer. So what do I need for an observer? I need to make a dispenser too. I don't have enough string for that. The fact that I am string deficient gives me an idea for something else that I had thought about that I need to do at some point. I need to build just an overall mob spawner, or a mob platform of some kind. I've built some in the past, and I have an idea for a design that I want to use to create like just a general mob spawner. And the nice thing about the design that I'm thinking of using is that you can turn it on and off, so that way it's not always on. So that should help to reduce lag on the server. So I'd be able to turn it on only when I want to use it. And so, as far as the base that I plan building out over the water, what I might do is actually have that as to be the general mob spawner that actually runs up through the middle of it. And so that way, I can get maximum mobs that would spawn, because it wouldn't have all the mobs that are on the overworld above ground. So that is a thought. That's something I've been thinking about lately. Excuse me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of that idea. I think that that's a great idea because I do think that we definitely are lacking in the just a general mob spawner aspect on the server. And so that allows you to get a lot of just the general mob drops, from like spiders and creepers, even witches occasionally. And the nice thing too is that it can actually be converted into a killing chamber so that you can get experience from it also. So that way, you're able to get lots of experience from that as well. So I think that that'll be a good idea. I'll plan to build that out over the water at some point. Yeah, so we're going to use one of these mending books that we got from our good friend Tion. And we're actually going to put mending on this pickaxe. Alright guys, well I think I pretty much got everything built now. I got the chicken farm built, and then down here I've got the storage system started. Obviously there's room for expansion to put more chests. I just have to break these blocks out and continue the hoppers along the top and then down the back of the chests. But yeah, let's take a look. So as you can see right now, there is no chickens in here. There is a lava dispenser back there behind the wall, so you can't see it. But let's just make sure this thing's working. I did forget to put the lava bucket in here, so we're going to stick the lava bucket right in this spot right here. And then you'll see, yeah, there were a bunch of adult chickens, but they all just got vaporized. So all the adult chickens have died. Excuse me. And we're just going to cover this back up. So you can see all the adult chickens here laying the eggs. Every time they lay an egg, it also sets off the lava dispenser, which then kills any of the adult chickens that have grown up, and all their cooked chicken will come down here. So if we come down here, we look in the chest, boom, we've got cooked chicken. So yep, this system is working. And anything else that comes out, like feathers, or I have seen occasional just eggs, they're going to get thrown into the lava dispenser, because I don't want any of that stuff. All I want is cooked chicken, and that is it. So this system is currently working, so we got that built. I probably will dress this up a little bit more at some point, make this look a lot nicer. Maybe I was thinking maybe I build it out of like quartz or smooth quartz or something, blocks. But for now, it's going to look just very carved out of stone for the most part, and that's just the way it's going to look for now. Alright everybody, well I think that's going to wrap it up for this particular episode. I'm trying not to keep these too long, try to keep them a little bit shorter. But we managed to get the chicken farm built, so that was definitely something that we needed to get done. And we got plans set for creating a shop in the shopping district for blocks. So I also want to give you guys some time to leave some comments and some suggestions on that particular build. So please do leave those comments, and if you really like this episode, smash that like button, because it really does help out the channel. It helps me to know what you guys like and don't like, so I can continue to create content that you guys enjoy watching. And if you really love this video, then make sure to hit that subscribe button, because that definitely helps out the channel. But I appreciate you guys sticking around and for watching this video, and we will catch you guys on the next episode.